Hello, my friends, and welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a soul tribe reading. I haven't done a soul tribe reading like this in a very long time. Usually I always do it with the camera pointed at my face so that I can, it always makes me feel like I'm sitting with a friend. But today, my friends, I did not feel like being on camera. So it was just, I've done a lot of readings today and I really wanted to do a soul tribe reading, but I just couldn't bring myself to sit in front of the camera. If you don't know what a soul tribe reading is, it's not really a tarot reading. It's meant for the people who are aligned with me energetically. Sometimes someone who doesn't understand what a soul tribe reading, coming into it, they get really confused. Sometimes, I talk, I've been doing this soul tribe reading for months, so it's like one big continuation. So if you've never heard a soul tribe reading, you may not resonate with it or be able to follow it. But I know that for a lot of you, you love the soul tribe reading. And like I said, I just didn't have... I had to shower and things like that, and I was just feeling lazy today. So you get my hands today. Anyway, we're going to read a chapter from this book. We are on chapter... this isn't that long. We are on chapter... I don't know what chapter this is, but look, we're almost done. 9 questions that will help you make the most of every day. So I am going to read this, but first I wanted to get a few oracle cards. Anyway, so I chose this one. It's Sacred Rebels Oracle, Guidance for Living a Unique and Authentic Life. So for some reason with this imagery, I always get like inner child, present self, future self, or your higher self. Take it as it resonates. Anyway, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad to be here. And I would rather do it this way than not do it at all. And I haven't done a soul tribe reading in a few days. But yeah, let's get into it, my friends. The world wants to be written. Interesting. We'll see if it comes out again. I believe sometimes with... Is it Alana Fairchild? Yes. Sometimes with Alana Fairchild, I struggle with reading from the book because there's a lot of words that like I don't know how to pronounce. But we'll get through it. This is the deck that I intuitively chose for you, so let's go. We're going to see what you need to hear today, and then we're going to read that chapter. Again, I hope you guys are doing well. I've been doing well. I just didn't feel like being on camera today, I have those days. I need to recut that. I have those days where I feel, like not hiding from the world, but I just didn't feel like being in front of the camera. I also spent a few hours doing a pick a card reading, so that took up a lot of my energy as well. So I am going to read the bottom. I'm going to say that before I even look at it. We're going to read the bottom. We have Collaborative Dreaming 28. So let's see what this is about. Excuse me. 28. Come with me, card. Your heart is big enough to dream not only for yourself, but for a new humanity. Imagine a world that is healed with respect, understanding, and with community that fosters life. Even your dreams that relate to you alone will contribute positively to the greater good, because that is the nature of your heart. Your heart naturally and intelligently cooperates in a grand scheme of loving creativity, working to heal the hearts of the world. The heart creates win-win situations that benefit the individual and the collective. You are being asked to honor your growing desire to co-create with conscious, like-minded people. Yeah, soul tribe. Yeah. Your collaborative dreaming is a heart-inspired win-win, bringing mutual enhancement to yourself and others. The heart wants to love and to be loved. Working with others creatively, I'm making up words now, is a way to allow your heart to grow. It is a chance for you to learn how to honor yourself and others and to find ways to live and let live, simply by growing and strengthening your active trust in your heart's guidance. You are asked to bear the rough patches that can happen when you work creatively with others. Ideas might clash and there may be friction, particularly if you have different ways of working. Sometimes big dreams need more fire to ignite them into reality. More fire might require more friction along the creative path. It is not meant to be a permanent condition, just an aspect of the creative process from which you can learn something useful if you wish. Your guidance is to embrace any experiences of friction or tension within yourself or as you work with another, with compassion, detachment, and tolerance. Creative endeavors, particularly involving groups, can bring up unresolved issues about being valued, heard, or capable. And I'm just going to interrupt myself for a minute here because I don't know if this is something you struggle with, but it's something that I've struggled with my whole life. And I didn't realize I struggled with it until I learned about ADHD and rejection sensitivity. And for me, whenever, and it stems from my childhood too, but whenever I'm in a group of people, even if it's family, I always feel a little bit on the outside. I always feel, it says right here, can bring up unresolved issues about being valued, heard, or capable. And sometimes, I don't feel heard or capable to give my input when I'm in a group situation. Like, I'm just thinking of, moments in school where I was supposed to work together with others. Even I went through pride training, which is when in my province, I don't know what it's called anywhere else, but when you're thinking about adopting a child, you have to go through these courses. And I can remember, being told to go into a group without my partner because they wanted us to meet other people and not just be stuck with our partner in these courses. And I remember not saying a word. I remember all of those things being triggered, those unresolved issues about being valued, heard, or capable. So I just wanted to mention that and to remind you that anything you're feeling like that, if you're feeling sensitivity towards rejection, or if you're feeling sensitivity around things like that, I just want to say it's not your fault. And perhaps there's some kind of collaboration or working with others that you need to do to heal those unresolved issues. Anyway, I'll keep reading. They can also trigger disputes about taking responsibilities and inflame insecurities about being cast into unfamiliar roles of leadership or having to follow. This might happen for you, for others, or for all involved. The stronger the creative energy that flows, the more likely that triggering will take place. It is the nature of creative energy to move in all directions. It doesn't just want to grow one project. Everything that comes into contact with it will grow. That means that the art and the artists are in the process of creation. This can be smooth, but it is more likely to be rough sailing, at least at times. This is not a sign that something isn't working, far from it. It is usually more of a sign that growth is happening and you are feeling the growing pains. This oracle is guiding you to stay in your integrity, honor what you feel, and remember why you chose to open up to group endeavors in the first place, especially if the group involvement becomes complex and challenging. Call on unconditional love. Oh, my cat's rubbing up against my leg. That's so sweet. Hello, Wally. His little meow. Call on unconditional love each day and evening. It only takes a moment to do. I call on unconditional love. Please help and guide me and this project. You are going through this experience or will be in the near future because you are part of a new creative learning program for humanity. What did I say? We're going to save the world. Gosh darn it. This learning program is taking place at a spiritual level, and it requires highly individualistic, I said it, and creative people to learn to work with each other without compromising who they are in order to reach a common creative goal. Oh my good gosh, this is long. I'm not reading this whole thing. I can't. It is wonderful, important, and challenging creative and spiritual work. You need a strong sense of self to be able to engage in the process and not lose your voice during the journey. You need a strong enough sense of self to be flexible and know when to bend rather than break. You have to intuit what is going to be a good-hearted, inspired sacrifice for the greater good, and when you will need to stay true to your own voice for the greater good. Only the heart can guide you on these matters, and others may not always agree with your instincts. That is part of the challenge of staying present so that friction created can be channeled into creative energy rather than lost in emotional turmoil. Please remember that what really matters is that you hear your own voice. Others may or may not be able to receive it. When you hear your own voice, you will be able to connect with your heart truths. You will know when it is right to remain in a group or when you need to withdraw in order to work with others who resonate at a more appropriate vibration and perhaps more in harmony with your own. Not every collaboration will be long-term. Sometimes the learning will be short, sharp, and possibly even painful before it turns into the wisdom that is gained from experience. At other times, the journey will be more loving, supportive, and harmonious. This is neither better nor worse, just different. This oracle comes with particular guidance for you at this phase of your life and creative journey. You are no longer to think of yourself as the lone wolf. Yes, you have your unique path to tread, but you now have tasks to accomplish for your own growth and for the greater good that require more than a one-man band. You will still do your own work, of course. However, others are on the way to help you. There is only so much a single drop of water can do on its own, though it's precious. Together, those drops can become a wave and make a considerable impact in the world. You are part of a wave of loving consciousness, and you are meant to be exploring collaborative dreams, healing relationships, and conscious communities. Some connections will be short-lived and perhaps involve some learning experiences that you are hopeful of never needing to repeat. Others will be longer-term loves. Either way, you will emerge more of yourself and more in connection with the world that wants your ideas, presence, energy, and light. This oracle, I had to take a breath. This oracle brings a message to those of you who are involved in a group and are struggling over whether to continue or to let go and move on. You are asked to trust your heart and not allow any group to become more powerful than the wisdom of your own heart. Always allow the sacred rebel within you to question authority. Is it loving and wise authority, or is it coming from a place of fear-based control? Look to your heart's wisdom to discern whether your involvement in a group is healthy or not. Sometimes a group can only receive so much of our energy before it's time to move on. Sometimes a group is not receiving us at all, but we feel we are meant to be a guiding hand in it for a period of time before our heart urges us to let go. Ask for guidance, do the healing process below, and trust in the feelings that come clear to you over time. You will know what to do, and you must always trust your own voice above any other. And I always tell you guys to trust yourself and your own intuition over anyone else. So let's get into it. That was a long one. So what does the soul tribe need to hear today? We have follow your own rhythm. So we'll start there, number 5. Oh, do I have to cover you up? I have to cover her up. She's got a nipple that's showing, so YouTube doesn't like that. So, deep within you, you are moved by an ancient, powerful force that cannot be tamed. It is the rising pulse of your connection to the life force. You feel it in your bones, in your blood, in your heart, and in your belly. When there is something dying within, you sense it falling away, no longer needed. You sense when it is time to rest and be patiently in transition. You feel the stirring of agitation and restlessness when new life calls you to create, to act, to step forward, and to take a risk. You know that you march to your own beat and that no one else can tell you what your inner rhythms are, and that you must trust in your own timing. You cannot be rushed or forced, nor can you be held back when it is time to burst forth. Life celebrates and supports the natural rise and fall of your inner rhythms. This oracle brings you the special message that you cannot miss what you are destined for, nor will you gain anything by trying to push yourself. Trust in the life cycles within, and you will feel the perfect balance between effort and surrender, discipline and letting go. When it is time for the rhythm of rest, you will feel a natural slowing within and be drawn into contemplation and environments that are more gentle, spacious, or nourishing, and perhaps more peaceful. When the rhythm of play beats in your heart, you will reach out to others to connect, dance, converse, sing, make music, make love, or share your wildness. You will be drawn to uplifting groups and places where you can experience a positive, energetic exchange. Your needs will be met in harmony with your own rhythms. All that you will miss out on by trusting this is anxiety. What you will gain is peace. If you have also pulled the inner trust card or feel intuitively guided to read that message now, this oracle has an even stronger message for you that you must surrender your attachment to doing things the way others think they should be done, whether that be the hours that you sleep or the way you structure your day or creative work. You must honor your need for rest and replenishment as well as your need for play. Sometimes an afternoon nap or a trip to the beach will do far more for you than slogging away when you are mentally depleted and needing of rest. Sometimes you need to work when the energy is flowing, even though others may say it is too much and you must stop now. That happens to me all the time. I'm not going to lie. Like, I love what I do. I love reading tarot. It's not work to me. And like on the weekends when I'm saying, I'm going to go do a reading, I've got my family saying, but it's the weekend. You're not supposed to work on the weekend. Or like today, for example, I felt a surge of creative energy. So I sat here, I think this is my 6th reading. I don't do that every day, but to some people, someone would look at that as like, oh, you're working too hard. I'm just I'm marching to my own beat or rhythm or what's the saying? I don't even know the saying. Anyway, you are an empowered individual and you have the intelligence and wisdom to choose for yourself. Experiment with what works for you and tailor your lifestyle so that it nurtures your best self into being. For some reason, I'm like thinking about when I was unmasking from autism, and like I started realizing you can do whatever you want to do. Like, you don't have to eat at a certain time because society tells you to eat at that time. Like, oh, you have to eat supper at this time. Or this card is even talking about sleep. Like, maybe you're someone who has problems sleeping at night. Maybe you're more creative at night. Maybe you want to create at night and sleep during the day. You're march to the beat of your own drummer. There it is. There's the expression. You do you. Anyway, that's the first card coming out, which I have to keep covered because there's a nipple on it. Maybe you want to walk around naked, in your own home. You do you. I like clothing, though. Let's get you another one. What is already with you? 17. this one isn't long either. It was just that first one. Oh my gosh, that first one was like 4 pages long. You hold in your hands that which you seek. In other words, the pair of spectacles you have been rummaging around the house for are sitting on top of your head. Oh, that happens to me all the time. My family to this day, I know I've told you guys this, my family teases me to this day of how many times I'll be holding something and I'll be like, where is it? Like, seriously, I know I've told you guys this when I was in Florida. I was like holding on to my son's hand and I was looking around thinking I have 4 kids, so I'm constantly doing head counts. And I was counting 3 children with the other adults I was with. And I was like, where's my son? Who has my son? And they're like, you're holding his hand. Like, what is wrong with you? Anyway, oftentimes when I'm looking for something, it's usually in my hand. What you are seeking, perhaps by exploring far and wide, is actually right under your nose. You might not like this idea. It is so much more wonderful to imagine there is something yet to find. Of course, there is unlimited creative potential and always something more that can be. Yet in this instance, it is important for you to know that you already have what you need and want. That's like, it reminds me of 9 of Pentacles energy. Whatever you need is within you. That doesn't mean it's the end of the story, although it does ask you to give up the fantasy that a perfect solution lies in the future somewhere. Instead, it asks you to acknowledge that everything necessary for success is with you now. All you need to do is accept this and act with what you have available to you. This is good news. This particular chapter has a happy ending in store. That ending will become real for you just as soon as you stop trying to skip forward to the next chapter. Better to be completely present in the now. From here, the next phase will naturally happen without force on your part. And I'm someone who's always like tried to force things to happen, tried to rush things. I'm very impatient. I'm even thinking like when I went through a brief period when I quit drinking that I started reading books and I would devour books. Like I went from not being able to read to devouring books. But there's one thing that whenever I read a book, I always do. And for some people, they find it really weird. I skip to the, I know this is strange. I always skip to the end and see how it ends. And I don't know, it's like I didn't have the patience to wait. I'd still read the entire book, but I would always want to just skip to the end and see what happened and to get that answer. And there's something about this energy that's telling you, you know, not to do that. Anyway, it may not seem like you have much to start with. Perhaps you feel that all you have is a small, simple choice to make. Perhaps you have a song to begin, an email to send, a conversation to start, or a sketch to let loose. However small, it is enough to get the ball rolling. Don't make the mistake of believing that what you need is behind you, lies with another, or is yet to appear. You have all that you need to take the next step in your life, and from that, all else will flow. And there is a sweetness to that. It is a small pleasure at first, but one from which greater pleasures can unfurl. This message is amplified. If you have also drawn the oracle of every journey starts with a single step, or the oracle of what do you feel? If in this case, really pay attention to what is being asked of you here for your own benefit. This oracle also comes with special guidance for you. You are more ready than you think you are. You are more prepared than you realize. You don't need an entire army of resources to move ahead. Although you may find that when you do move, many resources suddenly become apparent. All that you need in this moment is just one sweet act of nourishment. That is enough to take you out of backwards nostalgia or regret and forwards into what is awaiting you now. Be brave, dig deep within, and enjoy this sweet surrender. I love that. Star energy. So we have Hierophant energy with 5 and Star energy with 17. So I'm just hearing like, You could have a dream of being a spiritual mentor or a spiritual advisor. Anyway, let's get one more. I just need to look at something really quick, which was the card I just read. What do you feel? Okay, I knew it. When I was reading this and I saw them mention the other cards, I didn't want to just pull those other cards for you. I thought if it's meant to come out, it'll come out. And we have one coming out. So if you have also drawn the oracle of what do you feel, really pay attention to what is being asked of you here for your own benefit. So we have what do you feel? I actually don't think I'm going to take that one that came out. I'm going to take what do you feel? Let me think about that. Let me think about that. I might change my mind. So interesting that you had one of the cards mentioned in this card come out. There are many opinions around you. Some are helpful, but others are distracting from your truth. Although it can be helpful to hear the thoughts of others, when it all comes down to it, you have to come to your own decision. Do you know how unique you are? How your path is your path to be chosen, lived, and created only by you. Someone else cannot become the source of your decision-making power without negative repercussions of both of you in the long run. This oracle comes to you because you have become swept up in thinking things through. You have been thinking about which way to go with a matter of importance, and you have got a bit stuck in the logic of the decision-making process. Sometimes we have to accept that any path is a path forward, and if it isn't the best path, maybe your name is Beth, we can change our approach later if needed. If we are slightly off base with a decision, life will often shift and move us back on track. We don't have to be perfect. In fact, there is rarely ever a perfect choice to be made. Just some choices that feel more heart-honoring than others. Sometimes we can only really know if, in hindsight, we made the best choice possible in that moment. I feel like I added a word there. At the time of decision-making, we only really have our internal wisdom to rely upon and that is all we need. And again, another energy of knowing, trusting yourself, listening to your own intuition. You know better than anyone. The oracle of what do you feel is telling you there is no need to punish or traumatize yourself with possible choices. Just making a choice will set things in motion. The best way to catalyze the situation you are in and bring about healing change, stimulate your creative juices, and find a more inspired, energized, and enjoyable approach to life is to just make a choice based on what you feel right now, not based on anyone else's feelings, just yours. So ask yourself, what do I feel right now, and go from there. If you cannot relate to the need to make a choice between two or more clear alternatives, then the oracle brings you this message. You are at a crossroads in your journey, and the choices that you make at this time, even simply choosing to do things a little differently without much drama associated with the decision, are powerful triggers for some great magic to enter your life. Take a different approach to something. Be open to that which makes you uncomfortable, but could be exciting and interesting. Even small adventures will yield big rewards right now. It matters less that you do the most wonderful thing ever, too much pressure, and more that you simply take an action from your heart. Open up to the creative magic of life and don't worry about how it is all going to work out. The bigger creative flow of life is sorting out all of the details, and you are not immune to that plan. In fact, you are a natural part of it. So just spend some time with your own feelings and know that all is going to work out perfectly. That's beautiful. I was seeing like Two of Pentacles with that energy. Someone weighing up their options. Could also be like, for some reason I was hearing apples and oranges. So like, again, I'm not meant for this world. I'm an alien, and I don't get expressions at all. They confuse me. I overthink about them. Same with like sometimes weird dad jokes. Like they just don't make sense to me. Anyway, whatever the expression with apples and oranges is, I don't know it though. And we have defend to the end the worthwhile. So we'll look at this. Oh my gosh, it's on page 100 and 101. That's why my intuition was like, I know I took note that we hadn't had anything on page 100 and 101 or 110 and 111. I took note of that. That is so interesting. Every reading, my friends, every single reading. So now I have to read this. Beneath the illusions, pretty as they may seem, you know what is real. Beneath the lies, sweet as they may sound, you know what is worthwhile. All that is genuinely and truly essential for the heart to throb with life is worthwhile. Anything that dulls or suffocates its vibrant aliveness must be questioned, challenged, and more than likely cast aside, for the heart is our key to living an authentic life. What is there once that is compromised? What is there once that is compromised? That makes more sense. Without its foundation of truth, we are forever lost in confusion, doubt, and despair. You are a sacred warrior, a defender of the heart. You have cried genuine tears for your own grief and also the grief of the world. You have raged at injustice and oppression in your own life and in the world. You have felt the need to protect the presence of love, for whilst it is exceptionally powerful, it can too easily be smothered under lies and fear. The sacred warrior must not heed the dangerous voices that say, "Oh, stop being so sensitive. Stop making such a big deal out of things." Has anybody else heard that in their life? Probably. Probably not just me. "Oh, you're too sensitive." My parents would tell me that all the time. And, you know, I've had people tell me that, like, I'm too sensitive. Anyway. Stop making such a big deal out of things. Love is the biggest deal there is. What else is worth being so sensitive about? The sacred warrior is vigilant that the presence of love is not chipped away by fear, criticism, doubt, or untruths. Even if others find the unflinching honesty of your feelings difficult to handle, even if those feelings are expressed with gentleness and compassion, the sacred warrior honors the task of being more faithful to love than to anything else. This includes the fear of loss. Actually, it includes the fear of anything at all. This oracle brings guidance to honor even the smallest steps in your path of this sacred warrior. They are no less important than the more noticeable or dramatic actions on the path. One single misstep can begin a landslide of great devastation. Being vigilant with what is meaningful and what is truthful, even in the smallest and seemingly most insignificant ways, strengthens the sacred warrior and prevents darkness from gaining a stronghold from the inside. That darkness will be intelligent and sneaky. It will tell you that it doesn't matter, that this one time you can forget what you promised, that you are just one person and that you can't make a difference anyway. I hate that. I hate that little voice. I hate it. The darkness will lure you into sleepy ambivalence and dull your light if you allow it to. The sacred warrior within will fight with love and honor to be true to what has meaning and never ever allow it to be cast aside, even if it just seems easier in the moment. Whoops, the book is shutting. The sacred warrior finds joy and humor in life to prevent the seriousness of the task from stifling the heart that just wants to live and be free. That joy brings strength to the warrior and an expanded, relaxed awareness that can sense the presence of fear, whether it is masked as anger, hate, or doubt, and immediately respond to it with fierce compassion. The sacred warrior will not allow fear to gain stronghold within the heart. This oracle is special guidance for you. You are being asked to stay strong and stand your ground. This might be a big emotional journey that feels like the fight of your life. It may be in a matter that does not seem to hold much importance. Perhaps, for example, you are contemplating an idea that you feel could be something, but those around you declare it is nothing too much, too impractical, too little, or too much. However, what is happening soon or will be happening is worthwhile, so hold tight. Ask for help through the healing process and stay true to the sacred warrior of love that you are, and defend to the end all that is worthwhile. That one is about if you pull another card, and we didn't pull that card, so I'm just going to leave it there. Anyway, that's what's coming out for the Oracle cards. I just looked at the timer at 35:35, so that's kind of cool. So we're going to read... Why? Why are you doing this to me, Spirit? Why? I just need to look at something and make sure you don't need to hear this. Oh, it's so close to the end. I have to read this to you. I'm sorry, I have to read it. I shouldn't be apologizing, but I need to read this to you. Come to life, 43. Love you. You are the most sacred of all sacred artworks. You are bringing yourself to life now, and this is how it must be. Of course, something being essential doesn't mean it will always be easy. You must support yourself and have courage during this process. Your monkey mind is not to run the show. It might have a lot to say, and at times seem very convincing, but it is not the one in charge. Your mind can inspire you with ideas. However, it is the real you that speaks through your rebellious sacred heart and is living your life, not the monkey mind. The mind is not much more than a swirling... What is that word? I'm going to show you guys, and somebody can tell me. It's C-A-C-O-P-H-O-N-Y. What the heck is that word? Cacophony? I don't know. Or habitual reactions. Beneath habitual thoughts, there is a deep, sensual, creative, and energetic awakening happening to you. It is so far beyond what the mind is now capable of controlling. Others might not like it. There's a lot about other people's opinions in this frickin' reading. So look out for that, other people's opinions. In the end, it's your opinion and your intuition that matters. This one was reminding me of like standing your ground, even when other people will tell you that it's silly. And it was reminding me of like when I started telling people that I wanted to do this for a living, or when I was like, my connection with my friend and the counterpart journey, like she made it clear she thinks she's not spiritual, and she made it clear she does not want to hear anything about the counterpart journey. It was reminding me of that. So you could have the opinions of others swirling around you. Where was I? Others might not like it because it shakes things up. Coming to life tends to do that. However, it is happening now, and the only real choice you have to make is how to deal with it. Coming to life means feeling. It might bring joy, but it could equally bring sadness, rage, or fear. It could bring all of these things and more. Feelings will come and go quite swiftly when allowed to flow. You might need to paint, write, enact ritual, sing, or dance your feelings to help the energy flow. Don't hold back. Create the space for yourself to do it. In this process, you are uncovering the artistry of the universal creator. You are honoring the sacredness. This one's a long one. Sorry, guys. You are honoring the sacredness of life by exploring it without restraint, and that includes the flow of your feelings. You don't have to do anything with them other than express. You may want to analyze them, or you may not. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you are getting in touch with feeling, learning how to access your feelings, allows you to learn how to access your intuition, creative inspiration, and genuine internal guidance. These aspects flow from the same place and are often, I don't know what that word is either, couched within your feelings in the form of emotions as well as physical sensations. I already warned you I was going to struggle with some of these words. The journey, I think I've been doing pretty good though. The journey underneath the mind and into a sensual emotional connection with your feelings, emotions, and body is for a sacred purpose. It is part of your path. You are one of the sacred but powerful minority that have chosen to come into a body and live consciously within it. That may seem like it applies to everybody, but when you experience it for yourself, you will realize that this is actually rather rare. There are plenty of bodies without spirit, really residing within to care for, love, and honor them as a sacred animal. Fortunately, this minority is powerful enough that it can keep human culture in balance, but only just. We need every single one of us that is capable to be aware of the task and to move beyond the mind and into the body. To come into your sensuality, you will need to anchor your experiences. You may be blessed with relationships that are conscious enough to be interested in your journey in a constructive, rather than controlling or undermining way. If so, talk, converse, share. If not, then you will need to be more resourceful in how you support yourself through your awakening process, at least until you attract some more conscious connections into your life. It is likely that these connections are already on their way, and this card talked about a collaboration of people coming towards you. Whether they're all coming together or whether they trickle in one by one, some of them will stay for a while. Some of them will be in and out of your life. They're meant to teach you a lesson, is what I'm hearing. Where was I? It is likely that these connections are already on their way just because you are working with the energy of this oracle deck. Did we have... the very first card, this is mentioning the very first card we read. Interesting. You can support your own process by scheduling time for yourself and keeping to it like you would the most important date with destiny. So get writing in your journal, do your dances, paint your pictures, create your creations, be kind to your body, listen to it, and let it be alive. Even in times of pain, know that there will also be ecstasy and bliss in the process of healing, as the process of healing and awakening continues. The message of this oracle is be alive. Don't imagine you can go back to sleep. I'm hearing a song. I never hear songs during Soul Tribe reading. Hang on. This is so weird. I was listening to this song yesterday, and I haven't listened to it in a very long time. Hang on. No. Work. It's called Alive by... not Edwin. I mean, you can listen to that song. Is it Edwin? Alive? And it's good to be alive? Whatever that song is. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? I really hope I can find this. No, I'm going to have to go, just stay with me here. I'm going to have to go into my actual Spotify to find this. I should just pause this. I should just pause it. Graham James. I found the name. It's just spelled really weird. Graham James, Alive. There we go. I don't know why I'm telling you this. We have Alive by Graham James. Left the city for a lost romance. Left the city with blood on my hands. Falling like the leaves from the sycamore. Running like a thief through an open door. The countryside looks pretty at night, everything calm in the pale blue light. Awake to see the break of dawn. Been awake now for far too long, but I'm alive, I'm alive. It just goes on to, I'm alive, I'm alive. Screaming and shouting at the top of my lungs, the fog in the paddock and a newborn son. Walking all night just to clear my mind, because 25 years is a lot of time, but I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive. Anyway, it's a really catchy song. And apparently I'm sharing it with you. Sharing music is my love language. And, you know, maybe it's worth listening to the song Alive by, is it Edwin? That ain't it good. I'm not going to sing it. So the message of this oracle, be alive. Don't imagine you can go back to sleep. Didn't that song I just mention talk about being asleep for 25 years or something? Anyway, you are too awake for that now. There's no falling back into old ways. If you do, it will be short-lived and won't feel the same as it used to. You may grieve this. You will certainly eventually celebrate it. You have crossed a threshold from an old way of being into an old life, and try as you might, you cannot return. It is better to let go, grieve if need be, celebrate if need be, or do both and move on into this moment. There is another adventure awaiting you. You need a deeper connection to your own instincts, body, feelings, and intuitions so that you can receive this new calling. You can trust in it too. Embrace it, and it will embrace you. All right, so I feel like that took a really long time, but oh well. I know that some of you listen to me while you're driving or cleaning or working, so hopefully this is keeping you preoccupied while you do those things. Let's read from this. This is short. 9 questions that will help you make the most of every day. Our lives are composed of days. They pile on one after the next, and if we're honest, most of us would admit we don't use each one as well as we could. Maybe you've tried to micromanage your time and force yourself into a robotic routine, but that only makes you feel more trapped. Instead, gently encourage yourself to make better use of your days by asking yourself the following questions. What would my best self do today? Envisioning the best version of yourself can be a powerful motivator. However, simply imagining that person is more challenging than it sounds. Once you've imagined them, it's difficult to turn that idealized person into something concrete. Here's a better way to approach this exercise. Ask yourself what your best self would do with the day ahead. How would they use this time? Where would they go? What would they accomplish and how? You should know instinctively. Question 2. What's the best thing that could happen to me today? By imagining what the best possible thing that could happen to us would be, we can prime ourselves to experience it. In this mindset, the best possible outcome is often the most likely outcome. Maybe it's that you finally got a long, much-needed nap. Maybe it's that you enjoyed a quiet walk outside. Maybe it's that you finished a project and it wasn't as tiresome as you had feared. Figure out what your best possible outcome is from the onset. Keep it in mind throughout your day. And this is important, like imagining the best possible thing that could happen instead of the worst possible thing that can happen. 3, what can I do better today than yesterday? Growth happens incrementally. We don't wake up one day and completely change our behavior. Instead, each day we focus on being just 1% better than the day we were before. Think of one thing, however small it might be, that you may be able to do better today than yesterday. Perhaps it's how you relate to your partner or your kids, stepping away from work at a reasonable hour, or cooking that meal you said you would. These micro improvements will eventually change your life. 4, what small step can I take today to fix a big problem? The biggest problems in our lives exist because they feel or seem unsolvable. In reality, they're just more complex or time-consuming to solve. Ask yourself what steps you could take today to chip away at one of your biggest goals or an issue that's bothering you. Perhaps it is a debt repayment, a relationship that you want to improve, or your health and well-being. Don't worry about fixing everything in 24 hours. Instead, worry about which minor shifts you can make with the day ahead. These shifts, small as they might be, have the potential to impact your life for years to come. And I've lost count of which one this is, and they're not numbered. So the next one, what must I get done today? While we're imagining all of our long-term aspirations and the steps we'll take to reach them, we must not forget the essentials, the tasks we must accomplish today to make those far-off goals possible. Attending to the essentials will allow you to prioritize correctly and stay on schedule. We can't do it all at once, but if we prioritize one thing at a time, we can get it done sooner than we think. The next one. What am I doing for the most important person in my life today? Who is the most important person or people in your life, even if that person is you? What are you doing for them today? It doesn't have to be a massive sacrifice. It could be as simple as paying them a phone call, writing them a letter or a long email, or cooking dinner because you know they have a lot on their plate. What's something new I can try today? Of course, humans never evolve if they don't take risks. And if we don't take a risk today, when will we? Instead of aiming for monumental endeavors, consider something small you can change about your day or your routine to open yourself up to a new experience you're not sure you'll like. Listen to a new playlist, cook a new dish, text someone you haven't in a while, or attempt a new hobby. Pay attention to how you feel. The next one, will I remember this day a year from now? The answer for most of us, most days, is no. And not only is this important to realize, it's also freeing. Instead of worrying about whether we failed or succeeded, enjoyed ourselves or didn't, realizing that we probably will not remember this specific day, even in the immediate future, helps free us from a bit of the pressure to make it absolutely perfect. The next one, the last one, what could I do to make this day memorable? With that said, some days are more memorable than others. If we make a concerted effort to challenge ourselves or rewrite our story in a small but meaningful way, we can turn an ordinary day into one that has impact for a long time to come. And then the next chapter is, this year, please stop fighting battles you cannot win. Where was this chapter ages ago? And then we have, this is what it really means to be kind to yourself, because it's not as easy as you think. I might do that one in two. Or one, sorry. I might do those two chapters in one reading because they're so short. Oh, I like this one. Remember that everything will feel impossible right before a huge shift takes place. That is so true. It's always darkest before the dawn, or whatever the saying and expression is. I don't know. So we'll read those two next time. And let's get you some affirmations to end this reading. So we'll go with these ones, maybe? Yeah, we'll go with these ones. So affirmations for my friends. What do my beautiful friends need to hear? Well, okay, that's a lot. Whoops. I look for things to be thankful for. I have a perpetual attitude of gratitude, and I am content to be who and what I am. I like that. Attitude of gratitude. I really like that. I am in harmony with all that surrounds me. I am at peace. I affirm only the good in life. I trust myself and the process of life. The moment I am willing to change, it is amazing how the universe brings me what I need. I accept that I cannot learn other people's lessons for them. They must do the work themselves, and they will do it when they are ready. Yeah. This one is like, I've had a hard time accepting this one. I'm just kidding, but not really. I appreciate others for who they are. I am wonderful. I rejoice in the truth of my being. I accept it as so and let it be. I let my light shine. I release from within me all bitterness and resentment. I let go of old hurts and forgive everyone, including myself. I affirm that I am totally willing to freely forgive everyone. My body communicates with me, and I am willing to listen and understand its messages. Wellness is the natural state of my body. I accept that all I have created for myself, my past, and my present, I am willing to allow my future to happen. I forgive all past experiences. And then I was just going to get you, just for fun, because I like them, I was going to get you, I'm going to take these ones off the top, because the last time that I used this deck, these 3 came out, 4, and I want new ones for you. So we're just going to get a few affirmations from the Affirmators deck, or Affirmators, however you pronounce it. Soul Tribe, what do you need to hear? My truth. I am the rock star that carries my truth, and I can share that twisty-turny, complicated inner truth with pride. I love who I am, and I accept all the less than perfects of my past. It is the less than perfects that gave me my real story, and when I finally sit down to tell it, I'm going to go ahead and be the hero. And hey, who knows? It might just help someone understand their truth too. And we have open-mindedness. I cultivate and maintain an open mind that is ready and willing to be pleasantly surprised. Rather than write off new ideas, I stop assuming they won't work. Rather than write off new associates, I stop assuming I won't like them. Instead, I dare them all to prove me wrong. What a pleasure it will be to lose that bet. And if it turns out my negative instinct was right, well, told you so. And let's just get one more. We have reading between the lines. I am intuitive, and my intuition allows me to hear way more than just the words my loved ones are saying. With this power to read between the lines, I see that the words I love you might rarely be spoken, but their sentiment lurks in phrases like, I changed your oil, here's that article, and did you use up all the A1 sauce? All right, my friends, I'm going to leave it here for today. Thank you for joining me for a Soul Tribe reading. I'm sorry that I wasn't showing you my face, but like I said, I just didn't feel like being presentable to the world today. And maybe I'll go get into my pajamas now. Anyway, I'm sending you guys lots of love and light, and I will see you for the next one. Remember, you're amazing. Remember to be nice to yourself, and when you're going to bed, say nice things about yourself to yourself. Tell yourself that you love yourself. It really does help. And I will talk to you guys soon. Sending you lots of love and light, and I will talk to you later. Bye.